The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hello, I'm Carl Seidel, host of The People's View, sponsored by the Nashua City Republican Committee. And if you want, we meet at the Crown Plaza the second Thursday of every month. And if you want to find out more information, you can go to our website at nashuagop.org.
Welcome to The People's View.
Hello, and help me welcome Pam Coughlin, the Register of Deeds.
Thank you for having me.
Tell our audience what the Register of Deeds does and how you've been handling the operation for how many years now in the county?
Okay, thank you. I've been doing it for 8 years. I'm up for re-election. And registry basically is very similar to a library where you go in and you record and file, and we protect all the records, real estate transactions for forever. And we make sure that they're safe and secure. And if you need to do research, that the information is there for you. Basically, we have an index that you can look up the buyer and seller's name, and that will give you the book and page. And then you can go to the official record and look at the book and page and make sure that that person is who you're looking for, because there are a lot of people with the same name. So all of our access to our indexes are free. We do have a new program called Tapestry, because a lot of people call from California and they want to use their credit cards, or even local people, if you want to use your credit cards. We have Tapestry. You can go in and do the same thing, but you get your immediate copy of your document. We do also have copy accounts where it's $1 a page or $2 a page, depending upon if you want certified or not, and you can get your copies that way. So we're trying to do a variety of different ways that people, or different options that people can get their documents if they need them immediately, or they can, wait and come down, or we can mail them to you. So we try to open up the door to different venues for the citizens.
So you've digitized a lot of your records quite a bit now.
Right, we're back to 1966, and we're slowly going through when the staff has time off, when we're not real busy, that they can try to do the historical documents so that we can go all the way back to day one, page one.
Really?
So, but that's back to 1768, so we'll take us a little while to get there.
1768, that's kind of interesting. Right. And so the people can go to your website.
Yes.
Which is?
www.nhdeeds.com. Okay. And then you can get all 10 counties, you pick your county, and then you go in and it'll say search records, and then you accept our disclaimer, and then you can go in and do all the research that you want.
If I wanted to look at the people that are in Ward 1, could I find that out on your, or is it just Nashua?
No, we have the whole county. There are 29 towns and 2 cities. We have Nashua and Manchester, and the 29 towns within Hillsborough County.
Okay.
So you can find, as long as you know their names, you can find them.
Oh, okay, but you don't know you can't do it by address?
Not yet. That's something we've been looking into, but unfortunately with addresses, they keep changing. So far, the way that it's set up through the legislature is by the grantor and grantee's name.
I see. Okay. Well, I was just wondering, because they do list it in weekly newspapers, and but all those things, just the way they're listed there, are available to the public.
Right. When the documents come in, the first thing they go to is day in progress. So a lot of the information they'll get there, and once they're indexed, proofread, and verified, then they'll go into the regular indexes. But you can immediately see who's recorded right up to the minute, because we've started e-recording, which a lot of the lawyers and these banks and any of the abstractors really love, because they can send the documents over electronically. We do have 4 vendors that they go through, and they pick which vendor they want, and then they send the documents through, and then we go through each document just like we would if it was a paper document. The only thing that's quicker is if they're rejected or accepted, they get an immediate response. So that way, if we reject it, they know why we reject it, they can fix it and get it right back. So it makes the closings a lot quicker.
Yeah, I would think. you'd be able to find out you made an error or something like that real quick.
Right.
And do the cities, for example, use your records, or they just generate their own voter records and stuff?
I'm not sure how the voter records are done, but I do know like the different agencies within the cities and the towns, like the assessors and tax collectors, they will use our records for, and then we also by state law have to inform them on a quarterly basis what changes have been done, if there's been any property sold, or if there's a lien or anything like that. We do send them on a quarterly basis, electronically, which they like, and they can just go in and pick and choose what they want or need.
Now, what happens when some deed with two names on it as the owners, one person dies? Do you know that?
We do not, but usually happens if they want to refinance or do something else. What the bank will do, or the abstractors, or whoever's doing the closing, will record a copy of the death certificate.
I see.
So that way, whoever is moving on will know that they're, not there any longer,
Okay.
and they can move forward with their whatever they need.
Yeah,
wanna
I was
do.
just wondering, because that's happened to me, so I was wondering whether how that was handled, because I never thought of asking that question before, because I know other things like a timeshare I own, I have to get that redone, because they want their records straight. And it's not
I'm sure they have a lot of legal documents that they have for you to fill out and record.
Yeah. So what problems do you have in your area? I mean, or needs that you have? You seem to be running a good ship there, where everything gets processed properly and fast.
Right. We've been doing a lot of improvements electronically wise. When I first started 8 years ago with the e-recording, it was probably like around 5%. Now that people are feeling more comfortable with it, we're probably up to about 50% of our documents come through electronically, and then they get them back. So that has been a big improvement, with the tapestry also giving the different options for recording or copying. But the other one is we have property fraud alert, which is free to the citizens of Hillsborough. You go in and you fill out like a little form saying if you can provide the name with up to 3 emails, or if you don't have a computer, there's an 800 number. So if something comes in with your name, they will send you an email saying, please look at book and page and what it is, and then you can go in and look and say, oh yeah, I know about that. Don't worry about it. But if I don't know about that, then we would recommend that you call the AG's office just to make sure that nothing else is going on. So that's been a very big, and a lot of people have signed up for that just to be safe. And like for me, for my father, I signed up for just to make sure, because you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So
I'll have to sign up.
So that's one of the other positive things. So we've been trying to keep up and try to be as forthcoming for people, so if something should happen, we have a direction for them to go in, because your land records is really very important.
Oh, yeah.
And we just want to make sure that people feel comfortable, and the integrity of our records is extremely important. We want to make sure that people understand that these are permanent records, and that what comes in, they're not being altered. There's nothing there. What is there is the official record.
Yeah. And if you want somebody trying to get some lien on you, you want to know that right away.
Right, and that's true. That's why the property fraud is real good.
Yeah.
Because if it comes in, you look at it and go, oh, yeah, I do know. Well, no, I don't. So then you can go to those people and say, why did you put this lien on my property?
Right.
And then they can either discharge it, or it'll be the legal altercation that you'd have to go through.
Wow. Yeah, everything you have to watch out nowadays. There's so much fraud out there. It's surprising that people think of some of these things. That I know just on the computer how much spam you get. Some of it is pretty dangerous.
True, and also too out there have been some recent scams where people will send out a letter and it looks very official.
Yes.
And they'll say, for $86, I can give you a copy of your deed.
Yeah.
Well, it's a scam, and we keep telling people not to do it. And the AG's office has put things out, and then when people call us, we'll say, well, you can come for us and get $1 a page.
Yeah.
So we let them know, yeah, please don't send things out. So we're, everybody's working together, all the different departments, to make sure that, their land property is protected.
Yeah, I know recently there's some things that come in about somebody saying they're from a bank and that I have overdrawn an account or something like that, and it's just spam nonsense, you know. And they're trying to, all they want to try to do is get your information when you open up and, you know, get back to whoever this is.
It's true.
Especially when you know that there's, you know, it's not your bank, you know. I don't know where they get the name, but, you know, there's so many lists out there that they can get.
Well, I guess if it's your name in a bank, and then maybe one of them could eventually match somebody
I
down the
imagine,
road.
yeah,
so.
because there were several banks that I remember, you know, getting on that. You just have to be very, very careful.
Yeah, because we do. We try to tell people, if you get something, please call us so that we can help, and then that way we can let others, you know, the legal field knows, and then they can take care of it so that other people don't get in the process. So we try to be as open as we can to help people when they come in.
Do you get very much of that? I mean, it's just something.
Not as much as we used to.
Oh.
Because I think because they understand now that if you come to us, that we're going to help, and they're going to get caught, and that, you know, you have the fraud. What do you call the forgery statutes and things like that too. So I think people are starting to understand. But I'm sure there's somewhere along the line that they'll come up with something different. But we're hoping that people will come and, you know, let us know so that we can help them and direct them. And if we can't, that we can, you know, find someone that can. So we try to. We don't want to leave anybody unhappy. We want to, if we can't handle it or tell them, you know, give them a direction. Because we even have people that will call us and say, "Oh, can you register my boat for me?" And then we'll say, well, we don't register boats, but you can go here. But, you know, it's just, the title's just registry. They don't, you know, a lot of people don't know. So
and they may come from another state where they happen to go through that.
And it's true, because other states, too, like the registry will do elections. They will do the tax assessing and things like that. Where in New Hampshire, we're all separate. So it does make a difference that they move into town not knowing.
Right.
So we will direct them, no, you go here, and this is the number. So, yeah, we try to be very helpful as much as we can.
Is the somebody said that the probate one is trying to be done away with or something?
As far as I know, the probate is run by the state, and we're run by the county.
Right.
So I'm not really sure what the probate is. I know they took a lot of their duties away and that kind of thing, and there's something coming forward that they want to return it, but I don't know what's going to happen next year. The legislature, you know, that's.
I heard there was some, you know, legislation that was being proposed on that. And I don't know which direction it was going to go because I haven't seen it yet. I was just wondering whether you ran across that.
We haven't really run across it with the probate. It's more when people are doing their abstracts, they need to go to probate. If there's any kind of something happen in a will or that kind of thing, they'd have to go to probate. It's really separate from us. So.
Well, do you see any problems coming up this next budget? I mean, you're going through the budget right now, I guess, or starting to.
We will be soon. With the budget, I'm not really not sure because it's it goes through so many different levels. And so far, the registry's always been able to pay all their bills and then provide revenue for the county. But we do have a lot of steps that we go through. We produce a budget, which we give to the commissioners. And then the Board of Commissioners will go through it and dissect it, and we'll have subcommittee meetings. And when they do that, then they have their public hearing, and then it goes on to the Executive Committee for the delegation, and then they'll dissect it, and they'll have their subcommittee meetings, and then they'll come up with their, I guess you call it, responses to what we have, and they'll have their Executive Committee recommendations, and they bring that to the full delegation. And then the delegation will have a public hearing. So there's many steps to go through. So everything gets, if there's any questions, by the time it gets to the delegation, it's pretty well. Right, it has been analyzed.
Yeah, well, as I recall it went very smoothly in your department while I was on the executive committee.
Yes, it did. We've been very lucky because really the only thing extra that we've been going for is the restoration of the older books. And so that's been very good. We've gotten a little bit every year, so we can get like probably 20, 25 books, so that when people come in, because there are a lot of the community college, even like the National High School will come, and they're told to do a abstract. but you have to use the old books. They don't want them doing it electronically. So it's good for them to go through the old English language and writings and seeing how the old books are. So far we've been really lucky trying to get them stored so that they can see how it was done in the past with the writing, and then it just continues on. And so it's very interesting. So hopefully they get a kick out of it with the history.
Well, yeah, I think so. I think that we have a fairly good operating system in the county.
Yes.
And, it seems to be very congenial as far as going through. It's not. I don't think there's been any real nasty fights on the budget or anything.
No. As long as you can explain what you need and how you're going to use the money, I think that's what it is. And I mean, they always have questions, and you either come back with the answers if you don't have them. But most of the time, it's pretty. And we have a small budget compared to some of the larger
Some
departments.
of the other ones, yeah.
We're only 2 pages compared to some of the others.
Well, the county jail and the
Nursing home are
nursing
huge.
home are the 2 big ones, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting again. You always have new people coming in on these committees, so they're the ones that have to be re-educated.
True.
And,
and that's.
But with your experience, everything, I keep on running your department very well.
Well, thank you so much.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
We'll have you back the next election.
Sounds
Thank you
good to
very
me.
much.
Thank you.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.